The key to encryption. A controversy is brewing in and around Washington regarding the encryption of electronic messages. You see, it's possible to encode email and other types of electronic messages using mathematical equations so complicated that they cannot be solved without a key. Maybe you've seen Robert Redford's movie Sneakers. Our government has this nifty new idea whereby they will require computer manufacturers to build into their encryption systems a means for people's keys to be held by some third party. They want to be able to have access to the keys so they can read people's email to combat crime and terrorism, or so they say. On the other side, privacy advocates have said that the government doesn't really need our encryption keys, would abuse its access to the keys, and Americans would lose our right to privacy if such a system went forward. At this point, it's not clear that this is even possible, but Congress is looking into legislation. Now, I should say right up front that I'm not concerned about possible threats to my privacy in the future. I don't really have privacy now, so why should I worry about losing something I don't have? And you don't have privacy either. There's this outfit called the National Security Agency, which boasts that it monitors international communications, maintains a level of technology 20 years ahead of what is commercially available, and measures its computer capacity by the acre. Can you imagine the power of acres of computers? You probably think the dual Pentium is fast. What they don't say, although many people have heard, is that the NSA actually monitors communications inside the country as well. The best information is that the NSA uses advanced voice recognition technology to monitor every phone call made in the country. They scan phone conversations for particular words, phrases, or whatever, and if detected by the computer, recordings of these calls are forwarded to human agents. Most people who look into this sort of thing assume that the NSA is also reading every fax sent and all of our email. Computer experts tell me that all of this is easy. It's the voice recognition technology which is complicated. Anyway, it's already possible to encrypt email. The only way for the government to be able to read it is if somehow they get your key. Do you believe that if the government wanted your encryption key that they could get it? Me too. So, encryption is really just a way to keep secrets from people who are too lazy or disinterested to really want to read your email, which is all well and good. But if all of the rest of our communications are unsecured, what is the point of worrying about it? To me, the real issue is not the security of the communication, but the motivation of the government in reading it. They, of course, claim that they're interested in fighting terrorism. However, historical experience tells us that they really use their ability to spy on citizens for more nefarious purposes, to suppress various movements seeking justice in America. Our government represents the interests of the rich. You've noticed this by now. The government protects and extends the power of the wealthy. This is the purpose of government in any class society. The government is like an executive committee of the ruling class, and it is this purpose to which I object. This is significant because the privacy lobby is concerned about government intrusion generally, which is senseless because it's too late. The government is already intrusive. It's just not as intrusive in some people's lives. Most privacy advocates are not involved in the fight for justice, and if they were, they would know it doesn't matter what they do. The government will be spying on them. There's no point worrying about this now. What we should be worrying about is why the government is spying on us. As long as we allow the country to be run by big business will spy on us, and this government that represents the wealthy against the rest of us will spy on us too. Now, if the government actually worked to protect the public good, to improve the lives of the citizenry in general instead of just protecting wealth, then the government wouldn't have an interest in spying on us. The capacity to spy in and of itself is not really the concern. After all, democracy requires some sacrifice of privacy. It requires accountability and consequences, a motivation to spy, and to use that information to repress. That is the real concern. So, if you're concerned about your privacy in principle, then your time is best served by changing the government's class allegiance, which motivates it to spy on you in the first place. This is Richard Curtis.